welcome to the Sharpe Show. So happy to have you with me this evening, a little bit past 7:30 on the East Coast. Yes, I made a bunch of changes today. As I often tell you, sometimes I figure out what I'm going to do on a show that day, sometimes that afternoon, all over the place. And this was no different. I wasn't going to do this show today. And then Trump decides I'm going to give RFK Jr. a spot this afternoon. I don't care what you think, Larry Sharpe. It's okay. He doesn't have to ask me to do his stuff, and he didn't. So I had to make a quick change and think, but I still wasn't going to originally. I was like, you know what? It's fine. People talk about it. Not that big of a deal. And then I punished myself, and I said, what horrible things have I done? And how can I cleanse myself of my sins with punishment? And I thought, I know, I'll watch MSNBC. And I was punished. It worked perfectly, cleansed of my sins. I feel like a new person. However, boy, did that get me pissed off. I was like, what? The MSNBC, I mean, CNN's terrible too. Don't get me wrong. They're terrible. But they have learned literally nothing. And I mean, nothing. They have learned not a thing. Their answer prior to the election was, we're going to scold you. And their answer after, you think might be, wait a minute. Why don't we rethink what we've done? Our ratings are in the toilet. CNN's firing people left and right. MSNBC ratings are in the toilet. We should change. No. You know who's stupid? Not us, our audience. Americans are. God, you get this through your head. They are perfect and awesome, and we are all clearly stupid. And they're not going to let us forget it. And I watched, and I got to tell you, they have a valid point, because when I watched MSNBC, I felt like I got dumber. So there may be something to what they're talking about, because, boy, did I start feeling stupid. So perhaps they're right. I don't know. Maybe they are. I don't know. But I'm going to show you some of the things that they actually showed. The one that drove me crazy, and the reason why this one drives me crazy is it's an actual piece with Rachel Maddow. Rachel Maddow, by the way, to give her credit, and I want to give her credit where credit is due, she is actually a very talented broadcaster. I'm not joking. She's a very good storyteller. She is a very good broadcaster and storyteller. She's very talented. I'll give her that 100%. She is. She's utterly wrong and terrible. However, she is good at what she does. And what I mean by that, you look at most of the people on CNN, MSNBC, once they leave, they fall apart. But on the left, Rachel, believe it or not, she's a Tucker Carlson of the left. When she leaves, and she makes money. She makes money on podcasts. She makes money on she's got like a part-time job there, and they're paying her millions of dollars because she's very talented. Now, wrong is still wrong. I just want to give her credit where credit is due. Rachel Maddow is a talented storyteller and a talented broadcaster. However, I want you to watch some of this. The other woman who's here, who is Nicole Wallace, I think. Nicole Wallace is about as terrible as they come. She is really she's really bad at this. And a bad person, even worse. But here we go. They went and showed from 4 years ago, or 6 years ago, so they can actually say, see, look at how bad Trump is. He just fires people. He's a bad guy.
Also, hi again, everybody. It's 5 o'clock in New York. One of the hallmarks of the first Trump administration was our friend and dear colleague Rachel Maddow and her wall, her giant wall, keeping tabs on and listing all of the many people who left the White House under Trump, often under.
See, because Trump's a bad guy, so let's go back and show how bad he is.
Under duress, often fired after a blow up. Many of them unceremoniously fired on Twitter by the ex-president himself for not giving him exactly what he wanted.
You know, that's the part that bothers me. I hire somebody and I say, give me what I want, and they don't give it to me. And she says, don't fire them.
We share that blast from the past, that time capsule with you, because this time it's not clear that Rachel's going to need a wall. and maybe not one that big, because Donald Trump is now surrounding himself with the kind of people who would never have any tension with him, the kind of people who only say yes.
Okay, maybe I'm crazy here. So I'm the boss, and I'm going to bring people who want to do what I want them to do, right? Oh, okay. But I think when Biden was in, Biden picked people who hated him and didn't. Oh, no, he didn't either. Okay, that's fine. Because every good CEO goes out of their way to pick people who will not do what they say. Well, no one does that. What did I miss?
People whose only qualification for the kinds of jobs they're getting are that feature, that fact that they're loyal only to him, not the Constitution, not the expertise.
I'm kind of curious. Loyal to the Constitution. Was that like when they did the lockdowns and they ended the First Amendment? Or when my Democratic judges in New York State said the Second Amendment doesn't exist in their courtroom? Her quote, by the way, is that the Constitution? Or was it when they decided to just put Harris in without any type of democracy at all? Was it then? I'm trying to remember when Biden was so all about the Constitution, and when you were complaining about that when he wasn't. I don't remember you complaining about that at all when Biden didn't do it. I just probably didn't watch because you were probably yelling about how bad Biden was too. I probably just didn't see it.
Associated with the agencies they've been tapped to lead. Just take the most recent cabinet picks, a Fox News weekend morning show anchor to head.
Well, I get that. That's kind of funny. That's actually funny.
The Department of Defense, a former Democratic congresswoman who publicly spreads Russian talking points.
So the fact that she would literally say this about Tulsi, once she said that, this is when I changed. This part right here is when I actually changed what I was doing tonight. Tulsi Gabbard is by no means perfect, 100% not. But to think that a lieutenant colonel in the Army who has served in a combat zone and to question her as a Russian asset is insulting to all veterans. It's insulting. But she doesn't know any better because she doesn't know anybody who's done any of those things. She doesn't.
Who has been now tapped to lead the nation's spy agencies, and a man who was the target of a years-long federal sex trafficking investigation to lead the Department of Justice. And of course, the breaking news we just brought you.
Okay, not to give, you know, I have no idea if Gates has done bad things. I don't actually know, to be forward with you. But the point is, whether it's true or not, he's not convicted. And according to the Constitution that you care about so much, we are innocent unless proven guilty, correct? You just told me how much you care about the Constitution. Well, look, if he's convicted, okay. But it was a year-long, whatever, I know charges dropped. I don't know. Did you say about Cuomo? Cuomo was under investigation for killing grandma and grandpa. Did you say it about him? Your mouth was shut about that, wasn't it? He was grabbing butts all day long. 2 years of investigations. You didn't say nothing about that, did you? So when my former Governor Cuomo was grabbing butts and killing grandma and grandpa, your mouth was shut. Huh. I must have missed that. Maybe I didn't watch it then. You know what? I must have missed it. That's what it is.
In the last hour, a world famous anti-vaccine activist, Robert Kennedy.
He's world famous, and that's all he's done. He's done nothing else. He's done nothing for the environment. He's done nothing for literally thousands of mothers who've had issues and problems with their children, recognizing them. Yep, nothing. All he's done is said anti-vax. That's all he's done. Nothing else. That's all he's done. This is how bad she is. This is the horrible smear they do for every single person because they haven't learned something. Where is here is what Biden's doing better, or here is what Harris would have done better? Nothing. It is always one-word stories, attacks, and smears. Don't listen. And it hasn't worked before. It isn't going to work now, and they're still doing it.
Junior to lead the Department of Health and Human Services. Of course, the choices still have to come to pass, either bypass Senate confirmation or by some ultimate humiliation of the Republicans in the Senate be confirmed by the Senate.
Oh, it's the ultimate humiliation. Do you hear the dismissing? This woman, imagine being her friend. Assuming she has any friends. I don't know if she has any, but assuming she has a friend, imagine being this woman's friend. My God, the amount of talking behind your back this woman must have. The amount of horrible, if you are not someone who is of her stature, imagine how she looks down and talks down to you. What a terrible friend she'd be. What a terrible person she'd be to just look down at everybody. You know, you poors.
But as the New York Times editorial board writes, quote, Trump clearly expects us.
And they go right back to it. The New York Times editorial board. Who gives a shit? I don't mean to be flippant. Actually, I do mean to be flippant. Who gives a shit? The New York Times editorial board said, oh, let me change everything. Hold on, shut it all down. The New York Times editorial board said something. Who gives a shit what they say? They're irrelevant. They're irrelevant. Only elitists even bother reading the Times, and they live in their own world. They have no idea. Oh, my God. What are you talking about? Well, the editorial board said something. Yeah, they said Harris was good too. Where'd that go? Nowhere. No one cares. The point is the reason why your station or channel is losing so much money, the reason why you're all about to be fired is because no one gives a shit what your elitist thoughts are. They don't care at all. And you still haven't figured it out. The ultimate humiliation is they will follow what the people ask. The people are asking to get rid of all these people. So now he's getting rid of them. You're like, how dare you get rid of them? I don't know. The majority of Americans wanted that. Clearly. Kitty says, Maha. Correct. Yes. Peace, brother. Thank you so much for the $2. Oh my God, the ultimate humiliation. So disgusting. Yes, the ultimate humiliation. Yeah, that you would be confirmed by the U.S. Senate, the ultimate humiliation. Oh, I'm sorry. You would humiliate the Senate if you let someone like RFK Jr. or Tulsi Gabbard, one more time, a lieutenant colonel in the Army who served in a combat zone. How dare you confirm her? What an embarrassment. Garrett, you are the man. Thank you so much for the memberships, guys. Please take advantage of Garrett's memberships, 5 of them. Thank you so much. As always, I keep going down this road. If you like what I'm talking about, click the button known as like. If you don't click that button, I don't know what I'm sitting and jumping down, doing all kind of show. Are you not entertained? If you are, please click the button known as like. If you can share it now so other people can see it, that will be amazing. Please share it on Facebook or YouTube or X or whatever you are. Please do so. If not subscribe, please subscribe. Every subscription matters. Right, that gets Mr. Rhythm, Al, G, standing for Gore. Rhythm gets him going up and happy. So please do that. Super chats, as you just saw, go right to the front always. And memberships, Garrett's giving them out. Please take some if you can. If you missed it, you can always do one on your own. Click that join button, become a member for $5 a month. Keeps me doing more of this. And maybe I wouldn't work so damn hard and I can come on time. I was late because I was working and then this happened. And anyway, it doesn't matter. Please help out to the best of your ability. No matter what you do, click the button known as like. That's free and helps out tremendously. Sharing is also great. And as they say, sharing's caring. I know you care. I know you do. That while I'm out, let me grab a couple of these if I can. So Kim is teasing me. She's saying, Larry, you're getting as bad as corporate America. It's true, Kim. I'm becoming one of them now. Their gamers keep us dazed and confused. Yes, I know it is challenging. I'm sorry I had to make some changes. I did. So yes, Michael saying the same thing. Yeah, bounce around. Yes, Dan, you made it to the right one. Thank you. I know, guys, I apologize. And I changed like last minute. I know, I changed like 6 o'clock. And I was like, okay, I can never make by 7:30 if I choose at 6. So I had to change everything. So thank you. Missy was there to help out. I shifted the show last minute. Yes. Kathy, I'm hoping to do tomorrow night. I'm going to try to do tomorrow night instead. I had a nice one for her. Good stuff for New York. And then Trump does this. So what am I going to do? You know, I'm just human. I got to just deal with this. So yes, we will see how that works. We will see how that works. My daughter is coming back from college, so it will be challenging, but I will try my best if I can. So yes. Chris says, Larry, huge fan. Ready for to listen to you and watch. Keep fighting the good fight. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. 100%. So, all right, let me see if I can grab maybe one or two more of these too. All righty. Sarah says, oh no, is this going to require us to watch MSNBC? I'll make it fun, Sarah. I promise I will make it fun. I promise I will. Thank you so much for being a member. I appreciate it. I will make it fun. I will. Yes. It's as bad as The View. Yeah, well, some parts are. There's a part they didn't actually do. Like there's a chunk that they won't put out, which is worse. So I'll talk about that one. There's some other pieces that'll make you just want to vomit. So there's a bunch. There is a bunch. All right, let me keep going.
Senate to simply roll over and ignore its responsibilities. He wants to turn the...
She thinks the responsibility is to stop him. And that's the problem, right? What the Democrats told us was, we will make sure there's an easy transition. But now she's saying, and so was the editorial board of New York Times, change everything now, because I care about whoever the hell they are, but I care about that their job is to just, do. How many times does someone, when they get nominated, get stopped? Hardly ever. Hardly ever. We know exactly what they're going to do already. Already. The second they're going to act like they hate RFK Jr. being nominated or Matt Gaetz, they love this. Let me be very clear. Every Democratic senator, the House hates it. The Senate loves this, and I mean loves it. Larry, why do they love it? Because they're going to have so many commercials from this. So many clips. When Matt Gaetz gets up there and RFK, they're just going to call them not names, be mean to them, be horrible. They're going to have entire lists of all the statements they have to say to virtue signal. And Mr. RFK Jr., why do you hate children? Blah, blah, whatever. They're going to do all that garbage, and they're going to make tons of commercials so they can run those commercials in their district so they can run again in 6 years. That's all this is for. So they were like, he picked RFK? Yes, I'm getting reelected. That's all they were thinking. You might think, well, they care about the country. They don't. They don't care about the country. Stop. If they cared about the country, it wouldn't be in such a terrible spot that it's in now. They don't care about that. They care about getting reelected. And when they saw Matt Gaetz, they weren't mad. They were like, yes. Oh, you have any commercial making over this one? I am going to be the most virtue signaling of all the virtue signalers. I'm going to get an award, world's greatest virtue signaler. I'm going to get an award. I'm going to virtue signal so much when he comes up there. It's going to be insane. They're going to swap out. All the senators, Democratic senators are going to want to attack. So you're going to rotate a couple in for Matt Gaetz, rotate a couple in for RFK Jr. You think I'm joking. I'm not. I'm literally not joking. You watch that happen. They love it. Now the congressmen are mad because they don't get a piece of this. Right? Because he doesn't go through Congress. Congressmen just go, I don't get the cool commercials. They don't get the commercials. So they're mad. Of course, the congressmen are mad. They don't get commercials. Senators are like, yes, this is good. Okay, make sure I shave for that day. Give me a nice haircut. Ready to go. They're going to love this.
Leaders of major important agencies into his deputies, remaking the...
He's going to turn leaders of important agencies into his deputies. Aren't you supposed to?
Federal government into a Trump Inc. org chart entirely subordinate to him.
Okay. They're making this sound like every president doesn't do this. Are you telling me Biden did random picks? Are you telling me Obama did random picks? He went, hey, you want to run? I don't know. How's our treasury? What do you think? What's your name? Bobby, come on in. Is that what he did? Of course not. He picked people who he thought would enforce his will. He's the executive. They all do this. But in this case, not bad because the editorial board, whoever the hell they are, said something. As if any of us care what these elitists think. We don't. If we did, if America cared what elitists think, Harris would be the president-elect. And I'm not joking when I say that. You all know that's true. If America cared what the elite cared about, if it was important to them, Harris would be the president-elect. They don't.
He recently demanded that the Senate give him the ability to make recess appointments, a way of bypassing the Senate's consent process when the chamber is adjourned for 10 days or more. And it's not just the positions at the top of the agencies that Trump is filling with unqualified yes men and women. He has
these damn unqualified yes men and women. You know, for the past 20 years, we've had qualified yes men and women, and man, they've been wrecking the country, haven't they? Huh. Maybe we don't want them anymore. I'm not trying to be flippant here either, but the amount of cognitive dissonance this woman has is insane. She's going to put these people who aren't, the country's falling apart. By most people, the majority of Americans say the country's on the wrong track. Now, again, the reason why MSNBC thinks this way, and all them do, is because they're all self-righteous, privileged people. All of them. Every one of them. Self-righteous and privileged. Every one of them. So she's doing just fine, making 7 figures a year for a job that is laughable, to say stuff that's insanely stupid, to show that she has no talent whatsoever. Clearly, if she left MSNBC, she'd make no money. No money at all. Now, again, Rachel Maddow is a talented storyteller and a talented broadcaster. She can leave and make cash, and she is already. Nicole Wallace, no one knows who she is. She leaves, she better go work for a Democratic congressman or something. Or hope she saved enough money. She better retire. No one cares about what she thinks. And she's sitting there acting like she's, oh, let me tell you these things. You're supposed to be a reporter. Supposed to be. She's not. My point is, stop pretending. You're not a reporter. This is my job as a newsman. Shut up. Your job as a newsman will be just to tell the facts, not go, and how dumb he is, and how dare he not, give us the people that we want.
Threatened to purge these departments of civil servants who he believes are not loyal enough to him.
No, that's a lie. He wants to purge them because he thinks they are destroying the country, because they are loyal to big ag, big pharma, big tech, big banks, big finance. And because they're not doing their job and they're sucking up cash. But she doesn't mind that because she does a weak job for nothing and sucks up cash too. She's one of them. And she believes she deserves what she has now. And she thinks so do all of them. That's why she believes that. She can't be against it because she is also one of them, right? She is literally someone who's replaceable tomorrow by anybody and makes tons of money because she probably went to a good school. Yes.
The Republican Party has already demonstrated over the last 9 years that they almost always let him have his way with whatever.
And the Democratic Party completely stopped Biden with, no, they stopped him with, oh, wait, nothing. Huh. That's weird. That's weird how that happened. Because the Democratic Party was stopping Biden at every moment, just shut him down, except not. Except no, they didn't. Huh. It's weird. Remember all those people in the Democratic Senate said, no way, you're not getting them, Biden. You're getting nothing. Remember all those people? Let me list them real fast. Okay, done. None. None of them do it. But remember something. I know some of you are saying, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense. Remember something. Orange man bad. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. That's your problem. You don't remember that. Orange man is bad. And that's what matters. So yes. Sarah says, hi, Sharpies. Larry's going to be awesome and MSNBC is going to be painful. We'll see. We will see. I'm not actually sure how awesome this will be. Oh, yes. But yes, that's right. Yes, 100%. Yes. IC says, Larry, can you put the video on 125 or 1.5 speed? These people talk excruciatingly slow. That's because their average viewer is over 68 years old. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. It's true. Yes. The average viewer, I think, in MSNBC is 68. Fox is the oldest, is 70, and CNN is 69. So yeah, they kind of have to talk slow because grandma's got to make sure it turns the hearing aid up. Just saying. Got to do that. And again, the average is 69. So there's people like 80 watching here too. So I get it. So yes. Sam says, where's the wall of all the people that left because of Kamala? I forgot that wall. Where is that? I didn't see them all. Dean says she's a talented storyteller of lies. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying she's talented. That's all I'm saying. Lunatic says, I have a lot of opinions about this. I had a feeling you would, Lunatic. You often do. You often do. So yes, let me grab some of these if that's good. He goes on to say, thank you for the member. I appreciate Larry so much. Anyone labeling Tulsi needs a free membership for life in combat. They champion wars anyway, right? Screw that rhetoric. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Peace Logic, $2. Those shills. Oh my God, let's make America healthy. Yes. Peace Logic says, I am entertained. Thank you, Peace. I appreciate it. I am trying my best to entertain you all. I am. Yes, I am trying. 100%. That's very good. Yes. All righty. Let me keep going here if I could.
His attention demands. Here's Congressman Troy Nehls of Texas yesterday, right after Trump spoke to the House Republican caucus.
Okay.
Donald Trump he was in there. Everybody loves listening to him. He could have sat in there for another hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and we'd all be listening attentively. He's the greatest thing since sliced bread. If Donald Trump says jump 3 feet high and scratch your head, we all jump 3 feet high and scratch our heads.
Now, hold on. This does sound silly. I get it. And this guy may love Donald Trump. Maybe he does. I mean, I don't know him, so maybe he loves Donald Trump. I get it. But what Donald Trump has given the Republican Party is a mandate it hasn't had in 20 years. That's not an exaggeration. A mandate it hasn't had in 20. If you're a Republican congressman and you've been fighting for the past X number of years without a mandate, and now here comes Trump giving you a mandate that you haven't had in 20 years, and giving you control of the House, the Senate, the Supreme Court, and the executive branch, I get why he's happy. I do. I'm not saying this is correct. I think it's a terrible idea that you'd be that much, but still, I understand it. But second, remember when they anointed Harris? They might even forget that hysteria. When they anointed Harris, she was basically Lady Jesus who come back. That's who she was. She was the Messiah. Do you remember that? I do. She could do no wrong. She's so perfect. She's so wonderful. It's freedom and joy. Remember that? I remember that. She could do no wrong. She was amazing. Everything in the past she had ever done was erased. So I'm not saying that was right. I'm not saying this is right. You should not worship a God like this. That's a bad idea. My point is, MSNBC was saying none of this when it was Harris. In fact, MSNBC, Joy Reid said, Harris ran her words, perfect campaign. Her words, not mine. Perfect campaign. MSNBC said Harris was perfect. If this is bad, wasn't that with Harris bad too? And I would say, yes, both are bad. This is also bad. But the point is, they weren't saying anything when it was Harris, and now it's this. And here's the worst part. Where are you showing me, right? If it's me, and I'm MSNBC, now they've never hired me, but if I'm MSNBC and I'm trying to push their agenda, I'd be saying, here's what we should be doing. Here is how it should work. There was an error. They made a mistake because this is the answer. No. It is more shame, more shame, more shame. And we are absolutely tired of the shame. T-Bone, thank you so much for the Sharpe Way memberships, guys. Please jump on if you're on Sharpe Way. Please jump on those memberships if you can. You can do membership on Sharpe Way or Larry Sharpe. T-Bone jumped on Sharpe Way. Thank you for that very much. Please jump on those if you could. That'd be amazing. So, yeah, it is insanely bad how this is working. Insanely bad. It drives me crazy that we keep doing this. So, Sarah says, oh, she lost 2 great friends of this hysteria this week. Look, Sarah, that's terrible. However, here's what I would ask you. If you wait and leave your heart open to them, right? If you leave it open, over time, they may come back. It is common that it happens. They get mad now because the world seems to be ending, but the world's not going to end. Well, one day it might, but not over this and not soon. So one day it might end. But if that happens, they may see it and they may come back to you. If you open your heart and leave it open, they may come back. It is very common they will. It might take several months. It might take after the inauguration. It might take after the first 6 months. Who knows when it will happen? But generally speaking, if you keep your heart open, this will pass. Now, to be forward, Sarah, if it's a year from now and they don't come back, neither one of them, they weren't really great friends. I don't mean to be cruel. I'm being real, right? This is something that over time, this should push through over time, as long as you are not attacking, you are not negative, and you keep your mind open, even when they're mean and nasty to you, right? Because when they're mad and when you get mad back, it validates their feelings you're a bad person. And then that pushes them away. But when they're mad and you're not, it doesn't validate their feelings. And then they start having some cognitive dissonance. Over time, they may want to come back and say, you know what, maybe I was too harsh. Can we have a conversation? So that's my view on that. I hope that helps.
That's it.
At least they admit it now. Year 9. It is sort of a helpful feature.
Do you see how, look at her eyes. Oh my God, she's so condescending. Why do people watch this? You know what it is? People watch this thinking they're like her, right? They think, I watch this, so I'm like her. I'm also cool and savvy and better than all the poors. I'm better than all the poors. All these dumb Trump supporters, they're all stupid, and I'm super cool like her. They actually think that. Lunatic, yes, it's insulting and belittling. That's all they know. That's the reason why you lost. You lost because you're so arrogant. People hate you, so they vote against you. That's it. This stop is perfect. The reason why you lost is this. That's the reason. There we go. Now you know. Hopefully you'll pay attention.
So we're going to forget about the Constitution, the guiding principle of the country and the Republican Party, and replace it with Donald Trump. Liz Cheney warned us we are slow walking into.
We should have listened to the other expert, Liz Cheney. She literally brings up. Liz Cheney, like, see, you dummies. Psh, you stupid, you idiots. You rubes. How dare you not listen to Liz Cheney? She told you, stupid people. Wow. She brought that up, like, see, dummies.
Autocracy, although at the rate this week is going, it looks more like we are running. It's where we start the hour with the host of the Rachel Maddow Show right here on MSNBC, New York Times bestselling author, my colleague and dear friend, Rachel Maddow's here. Rachel, where to start?
Help us, Rachel.
You go.
Help us. Tell us what to do.
Well, I don't know where to start. I mean, I do feel like, Nicole, that you, maybe more than anyone, has been very clear-eyed about what was coming and about what was being promised here. And
so this is the part I want to bring up here. If you were clear-eyed on how evil the Orange Man is, and if you had told us how bad the evil man is, okay, he's a bad guy, evil guy. All right, got you. You've been clear-eyed on this. Why did we pick him over your gal? Why? Why is that not the question? If he's as bad as you say he is, and he's a dictator, and he took over the world, and it's authoritarian, all the things, right? And she's a Russian spy, and everybody else is crazy, all sex people, all the things you say, they're all true. Okay. We still picked him knowing all of this over your gal. What does that tell you? America hates elites. Why they hate elites? Because for 30 years you've been running things and the country's worse. The country's worse. Think about this. The people who come into power, who Americans voted for in droves, are saying they want to end the Department of Education. And America's like, yeah, whatevs. Think about that. They've got the Randy Weingarten, the complete and utter horrible shill, terrible human being that talks to teachers union. That person who is worthy of scorn because she's such a terrible human being. She's going, we got to make sure the funding stays. The funding stays, not the kids. Watch her interview. Randy Weingarten's not saying the kids. She's saying we have to make sure the funding comes. She cares about the cash. That's all she cares about, the moolah. She don't care about your kid. No one at the Department of Education in D.C. cares about your kid. None of them do. They care about the cash. And she just said it. I wonder why we don't care about this. Huh. It's a goddamn mystery. Look at that.
And
called in Scooby-Doo to figure this one out.
That there was no reason to expect this to be moderated or normal, or that this is going to tack back toward the center or towards anything that looked like traditional American politics. I mean, you did your Autocracy in America series. And listen, we saw what was going to happen, and now it is happening. And so I do feel like this is a moment for people to get real and for people to
see that. You people should get real. See that, Sarah? That's your problem. You're not getting real. Kintsugi, get real. Listen to what she's saying. You noobs, you don't get it. Get the experts in. Now, time to get real. Lunatic libertarian, get real. She told you so. Showing you people. Just get real. She knows. She's not at all elitist and making tons of money and life is good for her at all. She's not that. No, she's one of us. She's what, yeah, of course. IC says he is an anti-vax. He's pro-safe vax, pro-tested vax. Also true. Also true. Yes, Kinsugi says, man, these people are clueless. And won't stop. And just won't stop. That's the issue. They won't stop. No matter what's going, they just keep going, keep going. Yes. Adrian says, I don't know Nicole Wallace's background, but almost everyone I know knows at least one person in the military, usually many more. Yeah, she might know some officer somewhere, maybe. Maybe her husband's boyfriend is that. I don't know if her husband's a boyfriend. Her husband has a boyfriend. Just saying. He does. He's probably in DC. Probably either her husband or her husband's boyfriend is that. I don't know if she's. He does. Just saying. Yes. All right. Anyway, so let me just keep going a little bit if I could.
Stop saying like, oh, this is going to end up being much more moderate than anybody expected. When are you going to stop? So when are you going to start apologizing for saying that democracy was threatened? I mean, I think it's time to get real and realize that this is really what we're up against. But I also think the fact that we all feel a little bit, I don't know if flummoxed is the right word, sort of rocked by the increasing incredulity of these choices.
See the incredulity of these choices. We're rocked by it. No, MSNBC's rocked by it. Half the internet's laughing and loving it. Lunatic says, I will keep aggressing to a caveman. Thank you. Yes. Yeah. Kitty says, yeah, I agree with you, Kitty. GFY, Rachel. I would agree. Yes, absolutely. 100%.
Is that it is meant to shock us. It's meant to
shock
adjust
us.
Our sense of what is normal, what is possible, and to sort of so disorient us as to what it counts to propose governance in the United States that we're ready for the most radical pronouncements and actions.
But isn't that what, this is the part that none of them understand. And again, look at her smugness yet again. Every time I freeze it, there's smugness. There's so much smugness. It's insane. Isn't that what Americans were begging for? To be honest, we were begging for this back in 2008. In 2008, we were talking about change. We thought incorrectly that Obama was change. Remember that? Hope and change. Remember that? We thought that was going to work. That didn't go well, but that's what we thought. Then we thought Bernie and Trump would do something. The Democrats crushed Bernie so that he couldn't be the left side of the change. So we got the right side of the change. Okay. Now comes 2020. They crush Tulsi Gabbard. Now it's 2024. And they crushed everybody, RFK Jr. The Democratic Party's authoritarianism is what made this happen. The Democrats could have solved their problem in 1 second. All they had to do was hold an actual primary. That's it. Hold an actual primary and all changed. But they couldn't do that because authoritarian works because they're smarter than us. These idiot Democrat voters might have picked somebody who wasn't the anointed one. We can't let that happen. We can't let that happen. And that's a problem. So, yes, I see MSNBC, mainstream smugless network being condescending. Home run. Nicely done. Nicely done. User has been banned from any words. He was changed for the worse. Accurate. Yes. So I guess the hope part he didn't do, the change part, just didn't do the hope part. So yeah, there we go. That's partly correct. So he gets a piece of it then, a little bit. A little bit.
And I do think we're supposed to feel the way that we do right now. I think that's part of this. It's a shock and awe campaign against American traditions and mores. And
hold on. Ganjan, you make a very valid point. Condescending tone with big words, Rachel. If Trump is actually a fascist, why are you still in the US, Rachel? Good point. If he is, why is Biden being so nice to him? This is why it's all a lie. And I want you to really think about this. If it's you or me, and we are in the government now, and we honestly believed that Trump was the H-man, little mustache guy from Austria who took over Germany, if we honestly believed that, right? If that was real, oh my God, this is the guy. He's taken over. That's it. Why would you help him? Are you a collaborator? Why would you help him? If I honestly believe that, I wouldn't help him do anything. I'm not going to help build the camps or put the people on the cars. I'm not doing that. They don't believe that. It's all garbage. They know that in 2 years, another election, and for another election, it's going to keep going. None of it's true. It's all lies to make you feel stupid. They know that. To your point, Ganjan, if she really believed it, why would she still be here? If she thought he was really going to kill all the LGBTQ people, well, she's a lesbian. Why wouldn't she run away and go to Canada or Mexico or whatever? Of course not, because it's not going to happen. She knows it's not going to happen. She knows her, and I think she's married. She knows her and her wife will be fine. She knows this. But the world's ending. It's all a terrible story to make the plebes feel bad.
And that's, I think, how most of the country feels about it.
I mean, I think to sort of sustain the military analysis, the Iraq war starts with a shock and awe bombing campaign. The war is a catastrophe. I mean, it doesn't connote competence. It doesn't signal that he will succeed.
Yeah, but when the Iraq war was happening, I don't remember NBC being anti-war. I don't remember that. Yeah, weird, I don't remember that either. A lot of stuff I don't remember.
In successfully demolishing American democracy. It does mean that we as a press still every single time chase the shiny object. And this week, the shiny objects are named Matt Gaetz, Tulsi Gabbard, and RFK Jr. Next week, they'll...
And you keep following him, don't you? So she admits that's what she does. And you keep following him. Look at the smugness on both of their faces. God. Sarah, thank you for the $10. I can't comment the rest of the video, but I'll be listening. Oh, thank you. My Stockholm syndrome forces me to pay for this abuse. Larry's always right. Thank you so much, Larry and the Sharpies. Thank you guys for absolutely, yes. I appreciate that so much, Sarah. Thank you so much for the support. Yes.
Be named, or maybe by 9 o'clock, they'll be named Steve Bannon and Kash Patel, and they may be running the FBI. Those are the shiny objects. But the movement is propelled by this hatred of the Democratic Party and the media elites, but also a promise.
But look what she said. The Democratic Party and the media elites. She actually got it together. They're the same. She actually got that. Like, she gets it. And she thinks, like, look how dumb these guys are. Like, she's like, it's just this stupid hatred of the Democratic Party media elites. Yes. Yes. That's, yes. 100%. Andrew says, Biden's so dang happy about it. That's why. You know, I say often that politics is petty. And here's what I know Biden actually feels. He's glad Harris lost. He is going to tell every single person he knows until the day they put him in a box how he would have beat Trump. He's going to tell every single person. He is going to be insufferable to his nurses when he's sitting at home. And they're going to put earplugs in because not going to hear how he's going to talk about, back in my day, I beat Trump. I'm the only one to beat Trump. Biden is going to be saying that until they put him in a box. Guaranteed. I think you're right, Andrew. He loves it. He's like, oh, Trump, I'm glad you're here. Yeah. Have a seat. Too bad I wasn't running against you. I'd have beat your ass. But, you know, they put knucklehead Kamala up, and that's what happens when they let the man sit down. That's how Biden's thinking. Guaranteed. He is loving every minute of this. No doubt. 100%. Yes. 100% correct. You read that perfectly, Andrew.
A promise to deliver on the economy, on immigration. And the people in charge of those two things, one of them is an alleged child sex trafficker, and the other is, by her own telling, a dog killer. I mean,
wow. Immediate attacks. Do you see that? Just attacks. Just attacks. One is a allege something. So lots of people allege things. Again, Cuomo. I don't see you stopping him. And then a dog killer. That's what you have. That's what you have. Just insults. And they never stop. They've learned nothing. All they know is shame. Nothing but shame and dismissiveness and smugness. I wonder why MSNBC is losing viewers. I don't get it. Sassy D, how are you? Larry, have you heard Don Lemon trying to call us all racist and basically stupid about the economy? Yes. This is my point. The vast majority of people who are on CNN and MSNBC are utterly untalented. Without MSNBC and CNN, they're useless. Don Lemon is useless. He's an idiot. He's a self-righteous moron. That's who he is. I'm not making this up. He is. He's self-righteous. And he tried to attack Don Lemon after he made a deal on X with Elon Musk for a bunch of money. Brings Elon Musk on a show and attacks him. What an idiot. What a self-righteous knucklehead. How dumb are you, Don Lemon? Hi, guy who's going to give me a bazillion dollars. Let me bring you on and act like I'm your boss now. Oh my God, you fired me. I don't know why. Because you're an idiot. He thought, well, I'm Don Lemon. I was on CNN. Yes, because CNN had the airport contract and made lots of money. That's it. Don Lemon is useless. That's why he's losing money and blaming it. It's all everyone else's fault. Everyone else's fault. Don't get me wrong. Nicole Wallace is no better. She's an idiot too. She'll be gone too. Same thing. Again, I will give Rachel Maddow props as I have before. She's actually talented. She will make money wherever she goes. The rest of these guys are hacks. They're embarrassments. And they think they're great because I got a job on CNN. So you're still incompetent. Anyway.
The competence may be where he gets sort of flexed up.
I think that the idea of the authoritarian promise is that everything shrivels in government other than the will of the leader, right? So,
see, this is what she gets, and she thinks this is a bad thing. What happens under most democratic regimes, Republican too, that's true, but more under democratic regimes is government continues to grow. And everything else shrivels. I see it in New York everywhere. Right now in New York State, almost nothing grows without government funding it. So the opposite happens. But what we're trying to get is this is a very funny one. Let me take it. Things definitely shrivel in front of Rachel. Man, you guys got the jokes coming tonight. You got the jokes coming tonight, guys. Nicely done. So yes, thank you, Jess, for the lull. That was good. But my point being, they love government. They love establishment. They love all these things, right? They love all these things. So of course they fall back to it. I don't have a problem with government shriveling. Let her shrivel. I'm not mad.
You don't necessarily put a Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in charge of HHS because you're hoping for great things from HHS. I mean, Matt Gaetz.
That's why you do that. Literally, that's why you do it. What have we gotten from HHS? Massive amounts of waste, fraud, and abuse. And I mean massive amounts of waste, fraud, and abuse. So much of it that it's embarrassing how much we have. And we have unsafe food, unsafe drugs, and people who are in trouble, and no one pays for it. So the reverse is true, but she's okay. Again, she's wealthy. She doesn't care. She doesn't shop in the regular stores that regular people shop in. I'm not joking. She doesn't. Of course not. She probably has personal shoppers. Again, I'm not joking. She probably has personal shoppers who go get her whatever she wants. And if she wants something from another country, she gets it. She's got tons of money. She has a problem with her Medicaid, doesn't matter. She has her own money. She pays private doctors. Of course. Don't care at all. We're looking exactly to make things better. That's the entire goal. So, yes. Mike, how are you, sir? Mike says, it's not shame, Larry. It's coercion. They're showing how they punish any idea that's not their own. Obey or else. It works only if there's no other options. maybe it's coercion, but I don't see it as coercion. Here's what I don't see it as coercion. There's no force behind it, right? I see coercion as force behind it. They no longer have any force behind it. They're just trying to shame you into doing so, right? They're just trying to shame you into doing so. I don't see this coercion. This is shaming, trying to make you do it. There's no threat of force. They're not going to come to your house, put you in jail, beat you up, take away your money. There's no other consequence except more shaming. That's it. So, in any case, Missy says Don Lemon is a moron. It is true. Yes. Versus they don't want Trump because they don't want actual solutions. Larry offers. Oh, thank you. Pretty sure MSNBC is going to be sold. They kind of have to at one point, right? I think they kind of have to at one point. I don't know what they can do afterwards, right? I don't know what other option they're going to have here. It's going to be very challenging to find anything else. I mean, what's their future? The advantage MSNBC has over others is MSNBC is part of NBC, which has Peacock. Peacock, I think right now is actually making money right now. So they can float MSNBC. CNN has Max, right? But the problem is CNN is just losing so much money. CNN's losing like $9 million a year. It's some insane amount. MSNBC is not taking that much of a bath. Fox still has Fox TV. Fox still has Fox Nation. And Fox right now that I know of is not actually losing money. Fox isn't losing money. But CNN is bleeding money. There's no tomorrow. That's why they're firing so many people. And they all make 7 figures. They make 7 figures to do this kind of work. Jesus Christ.
Among all the other things we can say about Matt Gaetz, he has explicitly proposed abolishing the Justice Department, not specifically just abolishing the FBI and the ATF, but talking about abolishing the Justice Department. I mean, Tulsi Gabbard,
think about this. The guy saying he wants to abolish all these things. And people are like, yeah, whatevs. Just think about that. If people are like, yeah, whatevs, how bad are you? The absolute, they have no idea what's happening between the regular world. They're so separate. They are so stuck in their ivory towers. That's the issue.
The director of national intelligence the idea that Tulsi Gabbard in a normal circumstance could get a security clearance to be a like a Walmart style greeter at any U.S. intelligence agency.
Could you imagine being her friend? Imagine the gall this woman has and how much she thinks of herself. How far she lives up her own ass. How far she lives up her own ass that yet again, she would say, a lieutenant colonel in the Army who served in a combat zone could not get a clearance. She just said that. You heard her say it. She just said that. One more time, for those of you who can't believe what I just said, a lieutenant colonel in the Army who served in a combat zone could not get a clearance to work at Walmart. How does Rachel Maddow sleep at night unless she's a sociopath? Or unless she just is so distant that she can't get it? Tulsi Gabbard would get a secret clearance so much faster than she would. It's not even funny how fast she'd get it. Tulsi may already have one. I don't even know it. I got a secret clearance when I was in the Marine Corps, right? The government has all my stats. I was in intelligence in the Marine Corps. The government has all my fingerprints, retinas, all that. They got all my stuff ready. I might as well just give my privacy up. I'm already done. I'm already logged I was logged in the military years ago. So I'm already logged up. So, and probably Tulsi Gabbard probably is too. She's probably all logged up too. I don't know what you're talking about. This is a fantasy. This makes me want to scream at her, but it was not helpful because she would never get it. She would never get it. Right? Joel, thank you for this. Maddow can never stop her. The virus stops lecture about the back. Yes. She's never said sorry for anything. MSNBC sat talking about how I don't want to get canceled. So I'm gonna have to play kitty words so I don't get canceled on YouTube. How it was a bug, how the bug that was going around in 2020, how that bug didn't unalive one healthy kid. Not one. Zero. The only kids who lost their life were those who already had multiple other issues. Zero. And her ilk were screaming every day how it's unaliving the kids. Remember that? Where's their sorry? Where's we're wrong? Nowhere. 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 Jennifer says it. They are rule followers. Yes, because it makes them feel good, because they're at the top of the chain. Look, any form of authoritarian is great when I'm on this side of the gun. When I'm on the other side of the gun, not so great. But when I'm on this side of the gun, authoritarian is great. I'm on the right side of the gun. Yes. So, yeah. Anyway, let me keep going if I couldn't.
Alone get past the security barriers is insane. So you do that because you want the worst for these agencies, because you want the worst for the U.S. government.
Yes. Yes. And the reason is it's been failing us for decades. It's been failing us for decades. And all you want to do is go back to the old ways because life is good for you. The amount of privilege these people have is insane. They're privileged. Their life is good. They don't care about health insurance. Rachel Maddow goes to any doctor she wants whenever she wants. So does Nicole Wallace. They go to any doctor whenever they want. They don't pay insurance. They just pay out of pocket. They do whatever they want. They don't care about that. They don't worry about getting sick. They eat the best foods they can eat. Of course they do, because they can pay for it. They don't care. They don't care. They laugh at us. Go back to status quo. Why? Everything's good. Everything's good. Why would you bother? Mike says, Toast didn't get put on the terror list. Oop, now I'm getting canceled. The list until she left the DNC. Isn't that odd? Yes. Nothing else changed. Just her obedience, coercion. Now that was coercion. You're right, because that was an actual thing they used. That wasn't shame. That was coercion. Toast was meant to be an example, and she fought back, which I'm happy she did. Again, she is an Army officer, right? Who, again, I want to be clear, not just any Army officer. There are many of them, but she's an Army officer who served in a combat zone. Okay, you can say whatever you want. You can be mad at her. You can think she's wrong on stuff. She's imperfect. She's got problems too. I'm not saying she's perfect. But to attack her integrity, to attack her loyalty, to attack her ability to get a secret clearance is disgusting. These two people on MSNBC are worthy of scorn. They are horrible people. They are elitist. They are the reason why the Democrats lost. This is it right here. The smugness, and they've learned nothing, literally nothing. I'll just keep going. Marie said it perfectly. Rachel should be ashamed of herself. Yes, but she's not. Yes. Yes, but she's not. 100%. Kitty says they are grade A sociopaths, not even joking. They just live so far up their own asses that they just can't even imagine this. They can't even imagine it. It is, all right. Let me keep going.
Because you think that the U.S. government is worthless. That's part of consolidating power, to make the U.S. government nothing other than the leader and people who will do what he says. And there not being any repository of expertise, let alone, just general day-to-day know-how.
But it's already been that way through every president before. Presidents have been consolidating power since, Nixon? I don't know how long it's been, whatever, since... I don't know, FDR, Woodrow Wilson, how far you want to go back? They have been consolidating power consistently. Biden did it too. Biden was writing executive orders left and right. They all do it. You just don't like it because it's the orange man. Biden wasn't any better. That's what drives me crazy. It's the same stuff he was doing too. Peace Logic, how long before mainstream or rather legacy media completely dies? I think it's more and more people see their lies. Thank you for the $5. I agree. I think you're right. It's already happening. I mean, these guys get maybe 500,000 views a night. Maybe. That's nothing compared to other places. I completely agree. But here is the problem. This is the issue. The problem is so much of other media, like me included, right? We use mainstream media to dunk on, right? We use them as part of our content. If they go away, tougher for us to use their content. I'm not joking. I mean, it's part of the content. So we got to keep at least one of them around so we can dunk on them. Like keep one. I don't care which one. Keep one of them around so we can dump them. So yeah, but there probably would have to be one, right? I mean, but right now, one of the biggest news organizations for that is AP. A lot of them take AP News. So there will have to be something that we do, unless, I mean, there's always the opportunity to be forward with your piece that we would shift our model so much to where investigative reporting could even become more independent. I don't think we're there yet for the reason that that takes a lot of infrastructure. And one thing CNN used to be very good at was that. If you go back about 30 years, give or take in that regard, the infrastructure that CNN had was second to none. Like there could be a problem anywhere in the world and CNN could get there. And CNN was actually pretty good at that. CNN became bad when it became a political place. When CNN was like seeing where the fire was or where the plane went down or where the earthquake hit, CNN wasn't bad. They were actually pretty good at that. They were actually pretty good at regular news. The problem is it doesn't happen day to day. It's not like an earthquake every day, right? If you remember when they had like things like that, OJ trials, stuff like that, they would just spend days on that. But they were good at it. I mean, a lot of people watched like the OJ trial and say like that was a thing. They were good at regular news. They were actually talented. They had a big organization with lots of people. Then they went, we're going to try to be Fox News on the opposite side, and disaster. That was the end of CNN. I think CNN, I said this years ago, should become a documentary company. It just produces documentaries. They're good at it. Like, you know, the life of Princess Diana. People love those. They watch them. They're good. They're investigative, right? The story of whatever, Winston Churchill. And we love that stuff. And we watch it and we love it. And you can sell that to like HBO or sell that to like History Channel or something. And people will buy it. Become, you know, make CNN, you know, stories. Do that. You're good at it. Do that. Don't do this. CNN's terrible at that. MSNBC, I don't know what's going to, I mean, the problem is MSNBC was supposed to be the far left, but the far left's moving online. They're just corporate. They're basically worse corporate media. They're moving online. I think it has to eventually die, but there has to be some form of, I guess, original content, which we don't have yet, right? We don't have that. I think you find people who are trying to make that happen. Like Daily Wire was trying to make that happen a little bit with some investigative stuff, but didn't really work. I think Tim Pool tried some of that a little bit, like having reporters go do things. Didn't really work. To be a real investigative reporting, it takes infrastructure because an investigative report might take months. So now I got to pay you, Peace, to go out and do this investigative report. I got to pay you and I got to pay Kinsugi to go out there for 3 months. And you're going to give me nothing. I'm paying you for 3 months for nothing. And you're sucking up time and energy because now you got to fly a plane someplace or stay at a hotel. I'm paying for all that stuff and you haven't given me anything. And what if you give me a crappy story? Well, now I'm screwed. Well, you give me a great story, home run, hit a home run. Everyone loves it. Tons of views. Everything's great. Happy I paid you. What happens to all the failures? And then what if you said 3 months, but it takes you 6 months? You have to have infrastructure to support all that stuff. It's just not easy. So I'm not saying it can't happen, but I'm saying our current system doesn't provide for that. If that changes, I would say, yes, it could happen, but it has to change. That's the problem. So, yes.
Anywhere. So it's a sort of, I mean, as Steve Bannon used to say, it's a sort of Leninist project, right? Destroy the state. This is.
Wow, that's good. See? I'm not the communist. You're the communist. Well done. Rachel, well done. See that Mike? He's the communist. Trump's the communist. You thought it was Rachel. No. You thought it was Harris. No. Rachel just schooled you. It's Trump. He's the communist after all. Damn, I knew. That's like 5D chess that Trump was playing. He was a communist the whole time. Damn. And Rachel figured it out. Okay. Well, there we go. Now we know. Joel says, more than 50 former senior intelligence officials can't be wrong, can they? Never. You are correct. Never. Could never happen.
The cabinet that you nominate to not to run the U.S. government to do anything, but to destroy the U.S. government, so that the U.S. government can be fundamentally reimagined as something much more like a unitary, authoritarian, or autocratic, for lack of a better term.
It's autocratic now. It's autocratic now. That's the point. If we could break it to where it's more decentralized, that would be better, right? Am I wrong? Yeah. Sassy says, oh, yeah, they're attacking her as a Russian spy. Yeah. Okay. Let me ask you a question real fast. Real fast. You're Tulsi Gabbard's commanding officer. You're a colonel or a general, one of those two. You think that Tulsi Gabbard is a Russian spy. So what do? You go, great. Go into a combat zone and run a field hospital because you're a spy. That's what you do. That's what you do. If you think she's a Russian spy, you would immediately have an investigation and perhaps have her resign, right? You don't got to be a 4-star general to figure that one out, do you? So what they're saying is she's some kind of spy, and all of the Army officer corps above Lieutenant Colonel, they're all idiots, and they all don't know anything out. But Rachel Maddow figured it out. See? If only we make her a 4-star general, she'd get rid of these people and let everybody know that Donald Trump's the real communist. There we go. Whew. What would we do? What would we do without her? What will we do without her? So glad we have Rachel Maddow to save us. I knew she'd save us.
What are you looking at as the friction points? I mean, in the first Trump presidency, it was the firing of Jim Comey after he refused to, quote, see to it to let Mike Flynn go. Let Mike Flynn go. Comey says no. Trump embarks on a 4-year-long crusade against the FBI and the Department of Justice. To your point, Matt Gaetz is going to be in charge of the department, and an as yet named person expected to replace his last handpicked head of the FBI, Christopher Wray. He's sort of threatened Jerome Powell, who said it's illegal for him to replace me. I mean, where do you expect any?
Okay. Well, first off, I do like the idea that we can fire Jerome Powell. Someone's got to have power over him. I do like that idea. I'm not mad about that one at all. Let's start tearing the Fed to pieces. But see, they like the Fed. They like the Fed. And again, look, every time I stop them, the smugness is everywhere. The smugness is everywhere. I am randomly stopping it every time there's smug. Every time. God damn it. Jennifer says, I used to trust CNN and watch Larry King live. Me too. I remember CNN during the first Gulf War back in the 90s. And we were like, okay, this is a real station with real news. Larry King Live was a great show to watch. I agree. CNN has not always been this bad. They haven't. And to this day, every once in a while, when some big news thing comes and CNN jumps on that news thing, it becomes watchable. But if there's not like an earthquake or a volcano or a plane crash or something like that, they are just unwatchably terrible. Just so terrible. Jennifer Goes says, I remember the OJ case. Yes. This goes, CNN was not always, if you're younger and you only know CNN like this, just trust me and Jennifer. There was a time when CNN wasn't so bad. There just was. It wasn't that bad. Yes. See, Jess, same thing. Yes. Same thing. 100%. Yes. So, Peace, thank you for $2. Can't we get to the Star Trek reality? Yes. Let's go there. I'm with you. Yes. That's very good. Absolutely. Goes on to say there, thank you for the $5, my friend. Things are so insane. I hope we wake up with the virtual reality headset. Oh, it was all a virtual reality story. It's so insane. It can't be real. No, one of the reasons why I show stuff like this, one of the reasons why I do this, again, for those of you who know me, I live in New York City. Very blue, deep blue. Mike also, by the way, if you guys don't know, lives in New York City also. He knows. This city's very blue. There are many people who think people like Rachel Maddow are geniuses. And what they think was right. We should do what they say. They're right. Many people who do. And many people who don't know any better, who just outdoing things and just think, well, Democrats are good. Why? Because I've been told that my entire life. Like, that's it. But they're not very political. In other words, they wouldn't know the difference between any of these things. They live their life. And they go in and we vote blue. Why? Because my mom did. Because my dad did. I think a lot of people are still there. I remember back in the talk about some of my Greek neighbors, and some of them would just vote. They're still old school. Like their parents came over here from Greece. Now they're born here, but they still vote the way their parents told them. They have kids now. The kids vote just the way the parents told them. They all go together to vote. Like they all go together to vote. And the dad who came from one of the islands or from someplace in Greece says, today we're going to vote for this person. And they all go, okay, Papu, we're going to go do that. And they all go and they vote for that guy because that's what the family does. There's still people like that throughout the city. And they couldn't tell you whether the blue guy or the red guy is good or not. Don't care. They just live their life. So we do have some of that too. But there are also a lot of people, particularly the people, as I've told you before, and you can see it here. The Democratic Party has become the party of educated women. It has. All these women you're seeing here are highly educated. They're all from high degrees, from important colleges, and it makes them believe they're better than all of us. And the reason why they're so upset is, how dare you? This is what they're actually saying. How dare you? I have given you the right answer. Do as I say. How dare you? That's what they're really thinking. So this is not insane. This is very natural. This is the way of the world and what's happening. And here's the issue. The country is tired of being scolded by people like them. It's just tired. We're tired of being scolded. Please stop scolding me. If you think you're better than me, awesome. Stay in your ivory tower. Just stay there. Stop trying to force me to do what you want. Sorry. Stop trying to shame me into it. The shame doesn't work anymore. The shame hasn't worked in a long time. We just have to stop it. So yes. Kintsugi says, yes, my grandma asked me to vote all Dems this year. You didn't have the heart to tell her. Yes, it's a common thing. Absolutely. 100%. Jennifer says, I was a Dem because my father and family were friends were. Yes. Many of them are voting Republican now. Yes. It's a common thing. People who are into politics, like in it, like me, I'm in it, right? Obviously. People who are into it, we have different thoughts because it's things we're thinking about. But when you're not thinking about it, you tend to go, well, what are you guys, who are we voting for? Because you're not thinking, it's not in your world, right? That's the issue. Daniel says, didn't Tulsi try to sue Hillary and then drop the case? Yes. You remember that. She did. Absolutely. 100%. Yes. So Kim says, Wallace is next. That's not fair. You will not see me. All right. People try to get me to talk about the looks of women in these cases. I will only do it if I talk about the man too. If I don't talk about a man's looks, I will not attack a woman for her looks. It is unfair. And I know that may sound like I'm being all politically correct, but I don't care. It's unfair. I do not judge these women by their looks at all, except for their smugness. That part, but that's their choice. That's not their immutable characteristic. That is their choice of being smug. That's it. Otherwise, unless I'm attacking the man on his looks, like if I'm calling some guy fat or something, then I'll call her ugly or something. It's fine because I'm attacking looks then. If I'm not attacking looks, no, not going to do it. So no, she's smug and terrible. Don't care about her neck at all. Not a thing. Not where I go ever. Kintsugi's on my side. Looks are irrelevant. I agree. 100% irrelevant. Unless I'm attacking everybody on looks, then it's fine because then I'm roasting people on looks. That's fine. And I do myself too if that happens. I'll roast everybody on looks or nothing. So that's it. Or nothing. That's just where I go. There we go. T-Bone says the girl in green is low-key hot. Well, there we go. See, there's a counter. See, there's a counter. I like that. So we did a counter. That's all. Garrett, if you remember, my friend, I remember when the left said, don't trust anything the government said and think critically. Yes. Thank you, Garrett. Yes. Yes, that's correct. Andrea says, just because I'm uneducated doesn't mean I'm dumb. They believe that, though, Andrea, and you know they do. And this is why some people hate them, because they do think that. Oh, you didn't go to my, not even just uneducated. You didn't go to their type of college. So you went to college, but it wasn't like their type of Ivy League. If you didn't go to their Ivy League school, yeah, whatever. And then you didn't go to school at all, should you even vote? That's how they think. You can see it in their face. It's why people hate them. It's why people hate them, and they've learned nothing. That's the worst part. They've learned nothing. P says education should be first, logical reasoning. Yes. How can true educated people be fooled like this? Because sadly, and you hear it, and it's such a cliche, and I hate to say it, but I'm going to say it, even though it's cliche. Today's education really is indoctrination. It just is. It just is. And I wish it wasn't true, but it just is.
Friction between Trump 2.0 and the institutions that stand.
Well, the first one is going to happen over the question, not of the appointment of any particular nominee, not of the confirmation process for any particular nominee, but whether there will be a confirmation process for nominees, right? The first point of confrontation is going to be between Trump and the Republican-controlled Senate, and it's going to be over the basic question of whether or not the Senate has any role in confirming any of these nominees, right? Trump will have to go to very arcane, very, very unusual and untested corners of the Constitution and precedent to find any way that he can shut down the House and the Senate himself. He's going to tell Republicans in Congress to shut themselves down, thus marginalizing themselves as one of...
Okay, we've been marginalizing ourselves for a day. With the problem that I have, it gets me so frustrated is, okay, Obama used tons of executive orders. Then Trump used tons of executive orders. Then Biden used tons of executive orders. The Congress has shut itself down for decades, and now it's bad. That is my problem. Now it's bad. They've been doing this forever. Michael says, what are you smoking, Rachel? And more importantly, where can I get some? Yes. Yes. Yeah, Joe goes, did Trump end all elections? It's just, he ended everything, clearly. I didn't realize that. He has literally just ended everything. Mike says it. This part is Rachel Maddow just fearmongering. Yes, he's ended everything. I didn't realize that. Damn. Okay, what will we do without Rachel? Now we know. In reality, Trump's a communist. I didn't know that, but now Rachel told us this. He's a communist, and he's ended all of the elections. There we go. It's all done. And if you're not educated as she is, you're clearly dumb and should just do what she says. Okay, I feel better. I now have guidance.
Supposedly co-equal branches of government so that he can set up the executive branch himself without anybody having a say about it. Now, why would you want to do that rather than just have all of your nominees confirmed by the Senate, which I'm sure the Republicans in the Senate would be happy to do? You want them not to have a role in the confirmation process because you want the legislative branch.
No, you want it quickly. No. She's made this up. The reality of this is the reason why he wants to do it this way is he doesn't want the circus that it will be. It will be a circus. And I don't mind. I mean, they don't mind it. They want to have some of the Democrats. The Democrats want the circus. The Republicans don't want the circus. That's what they don't want. They won't do it because they want to make Donald Trump happy. No, they don't want the circus. Just imagine Bobby Kennedy Jr. getting in front of the senators to be confirmed. They are going to have a field, as I mentioned, so many commercials, spots, clips on YouTube. They're going to raise so much money on it. They're going to raise so much money. Look, if I would do it too. I know, I'm just being forward. If I'm some Democratic senator, I can't wait for Bobby Kennedy to pop up. Jennifer, you read it perfectly. Sound bites. There'll be so many. I would raise millions off Matt Gaetz if I was a Democrat. Millions. No exaggeration. I will raise millions of dollars off of Matt Gaetz. I will raise millions of dollars of Bobby Kennedy Jr. Absolutely. Raise so much money off of them. That's why Democrats want this. Republicans don't want this because Democrats are going to raise all the money and get all the cool commercials. So Republicans don't care about Trump in that regard. Rachel's right. She goes, what? They're going to say yes anyway. Yes, we accept it. They're going to say yes anyway. What they don't want is the circus where the Democrats will raise all the money. So she's lying, or she doesn't know this. She knows it. She's just lying. She's just lying. That's not the reason. She just has to make, well, it's because Trump's evil. No, it's because the Republicans don't want Democrats to raise all the goddamn money. Because again, they're all going to be Republican people coming up there. So Republican senators aren't going to be able to get the "let me attack this guy and call them names" sound bites and raise money off it. I will bet anybody an amount of money. If Matt Gaetz goes up there, you're going to see so many commercials that just say, "We got to stop Matt Gaetz from destroying the justice of America. Send $45 to Johnny Smith running for Congress." Guaranteed you're going to see that shit. Guaranteed. And Johnny Smith running for Congress is going to raise 6 figures off that. And the problem is he's now running against the Republicans. Republicans don't want to give all that money away. This is a cash thing, not a power thing. And she's making this up. She knows better.
Shrivel. You want the legislative branch to go away because what authoritarians do is they consolidate power both within the executive and then in the person of the authoritarian leader. And so that's why it's an advantage to get a recess appointment rather than a Senate confirmed appointment, even if he's guaranteed Senate confirmation for even the craziest of these folks. And I think that confrontation will be first as to whether or not Congress essentially folds and
okay, she's made it up. None of that is actually accurate. It's about the cash. It's always about the cash. Like, it's always about the cash. All right, I'll give you 2 seconds of this one. One more 2 seconds of this. So, P says, so will Bob be confirmed? He has Trump pull all the favors and needs to make it happen. Yes. If you remember yesterday, what I was talking about, I was talking about horse trading. They did horse trading. Trump had to give some of the deep state people in. I know some of you don't like that, but I've been telling you this, right? I've been telling you this. There's too much deep state. There's too much swamp. There's just too much of it. There just is, right? And then people are like, but no, he's going to end it. It's not going to happen. I'm not saying he won't make it better. He will, but you can't end the swamp. The swamp's been building for decades. It doesn't go away in one swoop. It just doesn't. You're asking too much. Not going to happen. So he's still at the Senate. As I told you last night, the Senate still has power. The Senate can do what it wants to do. The Senate does not want the circus. Does not want the circus. Jennifer goes, oh, Rubio. Yes, Jennifer. Rubio. Perfect example. Perfect example of that. So he's got a horse trade. So look, we don't want any of your crazy people who aren't old school Republicans being all for the top places. Okay, but I want Bobby here to give us Rubio. Done. Take it, Rubio. He gets RFK Jr. Now, it might have been that easy, but that's the kind of horse trade I was talking about last night. That's the kind of thing that happens. We're not letting you have all of them, man. Okay, fine. We'll do this. Right? And they'll keep going. And they'll keep going. Each person trying to agree with the other to get the right people in. And there is too much of a deep state still there. Establishment Republicans still exist. They didn't go away. They're still there. They still want their people around. So yes. So took decades to get rid of some swamps in Florida using Australian pines. A whole lot more. Yes. Absolutely. So I do think that's an issue. This one, this is a few minutes of this one. This is the same awesome person that I know you love talking about Bobby Kennedy Jr.
So sources tell NBC News that the president-elect Donald Trump is expected to pick Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to be the Secretary of Health and Human Services. Trump had previously promised RFK a, quote, big role after RFK abandoned his independent bid for president and endorsed Donald Trump. The New York Times describes him like this, as a, quote, environmental lawyer who has no medical or public health degrees.
No, and that's the point. We went right to it. An environmental lawyer who has no legal or public, no degrees. Nobody cares. Again, you're an elitist. Nobody cares. We want someone who can fix and change things. That's the issue. We want someone who can fix and change things. We want someone who looks at these elitists who've been destroying us, wrecking us, and can now change. That's what we're looking for. We're not looking for the same people who have been making us unhealthy, looking for the same people who don't care about our health. We're not looking for the same people who have such a corrupt system that everybody's getting cash except for the children who are being destroyed. We're not looking for someone who's going to sit here and say, Bobby said this, over 1,000 ingredients. that are allowed in American foods that are not in European foods? 1,000. 1,000. These people all have degrees, don't they? But I bet they don't eat that food. And by the way, neither does she. Let me be very clear. Neither does she. Nicole doesn't go to the regular food aisle and buy Fruit Loops. She don't do that. Guaranteed. I've been in these people's homes doing fundraisers. I've been there before. You'll find that stuff there. Everything is gourmet and specialty made. All that. Their soap, I'm not joking, is specialty made. All of them. The wealthy people don't eat what regular people eat. They don't care about their food. They don't care. So now he's a bad guy because they can't make their cash. Look at that.
And has promoted anti-vaccine conspiracies for years, end quote. Regarding the Food and Drug Administration, the agency that is responsible for the safety of our prescriptions, vaccines, cosmetics, our food, even.
Yeah. Roy says, change can be for the better or the worse, but who traffics in conspiracy and denies expertise may threaten change, but for the better. If only Bible would stick to health habits for all and healthy food for our children, not be so anti-science, we literally have figured. He actually is not anti-science. That's absolutely not true, Roy. You are incorrect. I've seen what he says. He's absolutely not anti-science. It's not true at all. If you actually go down to what he's talking about, he's saying they have rushed everything and the trials aren't there. And this is a fact. People are injured by the stick. I don't want to get canceled. By the stick. It does happen, but it's covered up. They get paid out every single year. That happens every year. So no, he's not about that. That's incorrect. He's not anti-science. He's not. That's just that's not true. So yes. So anyway, Adrian says, I think Bobby has undergraduate science degree. Doesn't matter. Say he's not. He's still a lawyer who has argued. He has argued science for decades. There are scientists who have not argued science for decades. He's argued science for decades. That's the piece. He has argued science for decades. And he's been right many times. He's been wrong too, don't get me wrong, but he's been right many times. That's the point that's important. So why in the world would you be angry with some guy who's going to come in and say, let me fix things? Here's the biggest piece. You don't have to be a doctor or a lawyer or a whatever to run a company. Not required. You can. In fact, to be very forward, Obamacare made sure that doctors cannot run hospitals. I'm not joking. That's absolutely true. So yes. So the world doesn't end. The question is, can you be fair with people? And more importantly, can you change the incentive structure? The incentive structure is anti-consumer. Let me say it again. The incentive structure is anti-consumer, pro-big ag, pro-big farmer. Can you change that? That's the issue. If you can change that, everything else will be better. That's the key, right? That is the key. If you can't change that, it doesn't matter.
In veterinary medicine, an agency that would be under his purview, RFK has said that, quote, entire departments have to go. Let's bring into our breaking news coverage, former Obama White House policy director,
yes.
MSNBC medical contributor, Dr. Kavita
Patel. Oh, Jesus, I'm not going to hear anything she has to say. It'll be utterly useless. He'll just be like, he's a bad guy. Yeah, good. There are 14, I think, 13, over a dozen. There's over a dozen agencies under HHS, over a dozen. If he starts trashing them, good. I'm not going to complain. Good. Let him go. Let him go. All of them, all they do is support big pharma and big ag. That's all they do. They crush small farms left and right. They crush small farms all day. Just says it. He's far from anti-science. He's from people over profits. Yes, that's an accurate statement. You can be mad at him if you want to. You can go, he's this, or he's that. Okay, great. What happened during the lockdowns? Yeah, thank you. What happened? Who got punished for all the bad information we got? Nobody. Nobody. Who got punished for all the horribleness that happened? Nobody. Nobody. Who got punished for all the grandma and grandpas that died? Nobody. Nothing has changed. Nothing has learned. Nobody was learned. If he comes in and wrecks everything, fucking good. Sorry, I just did the F-bomb. I don't care. Good. They wrecked our economy. They destroyed our elderly. They destroyed our teenagers who were in school, are still wrecked from this day, for the years they did this. Nobody is punished. You think I give a shit if he comes in and rips stuff up? Good. Rip it to pieces. Fire all of them and take their pensions. You would not see me cry at all. How many people got fired? How many military members lost their goddamn careers because of this? How many of them? How many nurses? How many nurses got fired because they wouldn't take the sticks because they knew it was bullshit? How many? Tens of thousands gone, ruined, wrecked. But he doesn't have a college degree. I don't give a shit. Let them come in and wreck it all. Let them all get punished the same way they punished. Let them all feel wrath the way they assign their wrath, with absolutely no worry or concern for the plebs that they destroyed. None whatsoever. They didn't care. They didn't care. When they were making up rules that they admitted they made up rules. I'm not making this up. It is documented. They just said, we're scared, so we'll make up rules and we'll make mandates and we'll change the rules and we will wreck economies and we will destroy small businesses. And we put 50% of black businesses out of business. 30% of all businesses went under in New York City and will not come back ever. Gone. You think I care if he comes in and wrecks them? I don't. Wreck all of them. Every one of them. And I'm not alone. I'm not alone. There are millions of Americans who would happily watch it and smile while they're packing their bags and putting their plant in their box and walking out in tears. They would smile, and so would I. Let them burn. I don't care. And many Americans think about that. They haven't forgiven this. And I'm calmer than most. I'm calmer than most. A lot of people want people to go to jail. I'm like, no, just fire them. It's fine. I'm calmer than most. The issue is, and what they can't understand at all, is so many people are so mad and hate them. They don't care if it burns because they're already screwed. They're already screwed. But these people are all privileged. These people think everything is wonderful because their life is fine. So they don't care. They don't care at all. America does. And they're mad. And I get it. Let it burn. Let it burn. The long story short, $2. Thank you. Some critics of RFK were listening to Bill Gates. Yes, also true. Absolutely. Peace Logic, $10. Thank you. I met Bobby in person. I talked to him. He is love. He cares. He will not be right about everything, but he's right about the majority of his thoughts. Here's what I know about Bob Kennedy. I've met him too many times, as you know. I think you're right. He's not always right. He isn't. But there are two things that are amazing about Bobby Kennedy Jr. Two things that, more than anything else, I think are good. One is he will actually listen to you if you're wrong. He will admit when he's wrong. He has done it before. So if he gets in there and he says X, Y, or Z, and they show him data that says, no, you're wrong. This thing does work. He has before and will go, oh, okay, you know what? This one's good. I made a mistake. This one's fine. How about this one? And they'll have to show each and every one of them. And if they do, he'll go, okay, it's fine. I made a mistake. I didn't know. I didn't see it. He's done it more than once. It is insanely rare that politicians ever admit fault. It is insanely rare they ever admit fault. Ever. Trump can't do it. Neither can Harris or Waltz. They can never do it. They never admit fault. Ever admit fault, ever. He does. So you're right, number one. Number two, he actually cares about people. If you ever notice, when you meet him, he very often remembers you, remembers your story. Very often. Asks questions about you. He does care about people. Harris doesn't. She doesn't give a shit. Neither does Trump. He doesn't give a shit either. That's not true. He cares about his employees. Trump doesn't care about his employees. He does. That he cares about. But the rest he don't care. Harris cares about nobody. I mean, her kids, maybe. I don't even know that. Maybe. Her hubby? Maybe. I don't know. Her husband might have a boyfriend too. I don't even know. But maybe. I'm just saying. I don't know. So, yeah, I get you completely. Lunatic says, thank you for the $5. These people think we cannot think for ourselves. They're recorded. It will be epic. If treason was actually applied, then convicted, then the punishment. Ooh. I see where you're going with that. Maybe that's why Nixon taught him a lesson. Don't tape anything because he might be in trouble. Absolutely, yeah. They might get in trouble. It's a very good point. Yes. Kinsugi says he seems incredibly humble. Maybe, yeah. Yes. Kenneth says, I have a 5-year badge, and right there, Larry being pissed off and passionate about damage done to his community. My favorite Larry moment. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. But I watched it. I watched how they wrecked everything, right? I was here in my city, and I saw them destroy everything without caring at all. Just wreck it, not even caring. Where are the fines for politicians and celebrities that broke the protocols? Yes, there were none. Thank you, Garrett. If you were the elite, you were okay. If you weren't, you got smashed. You got smashed in every way, shape, and form. Yes. Joel says pandemic mask was equivalent of duck and cover for the 50s to protect us from the. Yes. And they changed their mind back and forth. They changed their mind. And again, they admitted it. We just made it up. We thought so. We didn't think so. We just made it up. They admitted it. They were afraid. This is the point about incentives. They were afraid to look bad, so they'd rather punish us than look bad. Well, you can look bad as you're packing your bags, taking your happy ass out your office, looking for an unemployment check. Good luck. Maybe you get a stimmy check if you're lucky. Demonez says, preach. I'm doing it, brother. I'm doing it. Yes, I'm doing it. 100%. I am trying my best. Jennifer, preach it. Yes, I do get upset sometimes. Not that much, but I do sometimes. Yes. Mike Voss says, people forget you don't need a degree to read scientific papers. It's true. You're totally right. And understand that conclusions, applications, and consequences. Media wants authority, bias, so they can control the conversation. Facts, my friend. That is 100% accurate. 100% accurate. Sassy says, we need some accountability for so much of the damage over decades. For so many years, we've had this. For so many years, we've had this. Jennifer says, there are so many still wearing masks. Yes, I see it all the time. I see it all the time. They're still thinking, oh my God, I gotta do this. It's crazy. Yes, all the time. It is nuts. All right, last piece. And before I go there, guys, please click the button known as like. I know I haven't told you I've been sitting here ranting all day, but don't forget it. It does matter. If you haven't shared this, please share it now. Share it right now. Share it, retweet it, whatever, do the thing. If you haven't subscribed, there's a bunch of people who watch my content and don't subscribe. It's free. Follow me on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter. Click subscribe. It does matter. Remember something. YouTube decides all of a sudden that you're a bot. It just decides that randomly and starts unsubscribing people. So you're like, well, I did subscribe like last year. Check again to make sure you did because it would just unsubscribe you for whatever. Guys, you super chat me. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. If you want to become a member, that's always the best thing. More members, the better. Click that join button on either Larry Sharpe or Sharpe Way. Join for $4.99 per month so I can keep this going to the best of my ability. I appreciate it. Let me grab one more chunk if I could here. All right. One more chunk if I could. And this is last piece. I will not punish you any more than after this one. This will be the last bit of punishment for the evening. That's it.
Achieving the rare feat of setting off alarm bells across the political spectrum, inside and outside of our national security agencies and all across the world today. That would be former Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard for Director of National Intelligence, the position that oversees the 18 intelligence agencies that are
was it 18? God, it was that many.
Cornerstone of our national security and our alliances all around the world. It is also the position that is responsible for putting together, for assembling what goes in and stays out of the president's daily brief, the PDB. It's an agenda-setting compilation of the national security information that the American president and the White House uses to make their decisions. For this role, Trump chose someone who has made a career out of defending America's adversaries, the world's autocrats.
Did you hear what she just said? This woman is worthy of. I would not say do so. I would not say do so. Don't get me in trouble, YouTube. But if Tulsi Gabbard walked up to her and smacked her in the face, I would pardon her if I was the president or governor. Worthy of that. Tulsi Gabbard has spent years. One more time, again, she is not perfect. She has her issues like everybody. Years defending our country as a lieutenant colonel in the Army in a combat zone running hospitals where our wounded are coming back in, where our dead and dying are coming in. She has done more to defend this country than anyone on MSNBC. In fact, all of them combined. And Nicole has the balls to say what she said. Why isn't she being fired? Because they all agree. Why isn't she being scolded like the child that she is, the petulant, privileged child that she is? Why isn't she being scolded? Because they believe it. They're on board. Because the orange man is bad, so I can dismiss everybody. Have you noticed? Everything they've said has just been smears. MSNBC is just smears. That's all it is. Where is the news? There is none. It's smears, smears, smears. Let's just smear everybody. We lost, so I'm going to cry and say everybody's bad. Okay, they're all terrible. And they whipped your ass. They're terrible. They're all these bad things. They're N-words, not they're German ones. The German ones, those N-words from the 40s. They're N-words. He's the H-man. She's Russian. They're killing kids, whatever. And they whipped your ass. What is America telling you? They would rather pick them, the people who you've smeared for years, than your people. They hate you because you're insulting. They hate you because you're belittling. They hate you because you're smug. They hate you because you hate them. And it's obvious you hate them. It's obvious you hate them. And you think you're better than them. America is tired of being scolded by people who think they're better than them. But you don't have any other weapons in your arsenal. The only weapon you have is shame and insults. That's all you have is shame and insults. So you keep doing it. It's not helping. It's not helping at all. I wanted you to see that.
In 2017, Gabbard made a secret trip to Syria to meet with dictator Bashar al-Assad.
She was trying to stop a war.
Then months later, she said she was skeptical when U.S. intelligence found that Assad was behind a chemical weapons attack.
She was trying to stop a war.
Dozens of people there. It's a finding that was made with a, quote, very high level of confidence, according to the Secretary of State at the time, Rex Tillerson.
Of course, because, you know, they never get things wrong.
Tulsi Gabbard has also been a consistent defender and booster and apologist for Russia's Vladimir Putin. She was instrumental in spreading Russian disinformation and talking points.
Oh, maybe like the Hunter Biden laptop, probably that too. Okay, good.
About the war in Ukraine.
I don't want to go any further. There's just so more here. I can't go any further. She was trying to stop a war. So anyway, my point is, I want to show you those three. Their answers aren't at all, here's what we'll do better. Their answers are smears. And smears are not the answer. You've been smearing them for years. Smearing them for years. It didn't work. Stop. Just stop. Stop with this. Just, you know what? If you want to win your Democrats back, and you can, to be forward, this is going to be very hard for Republicans. Some of you don't like it, but I'm being very honest. The Republican Party is not currently the party of the working class. It isn't. It is still filled with many of the elites from the old Bush, Cheney days. They're still within the government. They're still within the leadership of the Republican Party. They're still there. It's not gone yet. It's not there. They're not that. And it will be challenging for the Republican Party to try to become an actual party of the working class if they can. And they may not be able to. I mean, the infrastructure may not be there for them. So it'll be challenging. If they're smart and they make that change, good. If they struggle or can't, Democrats can pull the people back. They did it before. They did it with Bill Clinton. If you remember, Reagan trashed the Democratic Party in the 80s, right? For like 12 years. It was like Reaganomics for like 12 years. Then in comes Bill Clinton, Mr. Cool Guy, and he sucks all Democrats back, right? Happened in 2008. Obama came in, so Democrats back. It can happen. They can lose this. Republicans lose all this, and Democrats all come back. But the shaming shit's got to stop. If that doesn't stop, the Democrats going to shrink into a point. And you've heard Democrats say this. There are Democrat pundits who are saying it. They're saying you're going to put yourself into a pool to where there simply aren't enough voters to support you. So you can raise money because you have all the elites. So the elites keep giving you cash because you have all the elites. But you don't have enough votes because most of the country isn't the elites. And here's the sad part. Most Democrats, they just want the cash. That's all they want. So a lot of Democrats go, we don't care. We're going to win. I see it in New York. In New York State, California. Republicans can't win a statewide election. They just want the cash. Democrats could become that party. What do you say? We're not going to win. Let Republicans win. It's fine. We just keep getting paid because we got all the elites. We just keep getting paid. That might actually wind up happening. Not good for our country, right? Not good for our country. Christine says, Celsius says, sue these for slander. Yeah. Matt says it might just stay independent. Yeah. I'm there too. I'm with you. But my point is, whether you're done or not, you do want to try to have a party that doesn't just shame. I'm complaining about it all the time because it drives me crazy and it's so stupid and it's got to stop. And I hope they figure out how to stop and to somehow get their party back in action in some way and stop just doing this stupid stuff. And yeah, I don't know. Mummy Badger says, I feel like the corporate elements in the GOP are increasingly vestigial. I don't think the Democrats can resist the sweet, sweet cash. I think some of that's true, but they're still powerful now, right? The Republican Party will have to push itself through enough years to where that GOP establishment begins to go, all right, I'm out. Either it quits, walks away, or joins the Democratic Party. But that's not an easy thing because they've been making their money on this too, right? So that's not an easy thing to do either. The DNC will have to deal with the same thing, figure out what they want to do. They will have to be able to figure this out in some way, shape, or form. So guys, please do me a favor, click the like button, share if you could. And of course, once this is over, please put a comment. I know I did not do my show on Hochul in New York today. I will try to do it tomorrow. I don't want to promise you. I will do my best to try to do it this way if I can. My daughter's coming back. She's graduating college, so she will be here tomorrow. So I will try to do it if I can. Otherwise, I might not do it until Saturday. Or I'll just do an AMA Saturday, one or the other. I'll do one of those things. But I will be on a Saturday night for sure. I will see you all very soon.